Hello, I'm Michael Hunt and I work for Community Impact Bucks. At Community Impact Bucks we really want to help communities and individuals to be able to set up community transport schemes and to be able to access local community transport providers. For communities we've prepared toolkits to enable them to set up a community car scheme or community bus schemes. And for individuals we've established a community transport hub which gives information about local community transport providers that they are able to use. All of these initiatives help us to help communities to access and improve community transport in Buckinghamshire. Community transport plays a vital role in helping those who have difficulty getting out and about to maintain their independence, whether for urgent medical appointments, shopping or maintaining social activity. Community transport relies on many volunteers, including drivers or coordinators, who give their time sometimes every day or even once a month. These volunteers make a huge difference in helping meet their community's needs. This short film tells their story and explores the variety of community transport schemes already available in Buckinghamshire.
Hello Andy, what's the role of Transport for Buckinghamshire?
Our role is to develop and support the public transport network in the county. And this involves integrating commercially operated bus services with the routes that we contract and subsidise, so we can provide as comprehensive as possible a network. And this is of course within the ever-tightening financial constraints that both local authorities and the wider transport industry are facing.
What can community transport add to existing services?
Quite a lot, we think. Bus services are a very effective way to transport large numbers of passengers to common destinations, but they can't always offer the flexibility or range of destinations that some users need. And this is particularly the case for more isolated areas or for users who find traditional buses hard to access. And in these situations, we would see our many and varied community transport schemes, the dialer rides, the community minibuses, the voluntary car schemes, the hospital transport, as vital options for people in need of transport. Community transport isn't a replacement for existing bus service, but it complements our wider public transport network, and it's an important part of a fully integrated transport service to connect those who are otherwise isolated or excluded in a way we can't do with traditional bus services.
Would the County Council like to see more voluntary involvement?
Yes, we certainly do. One of the county's core aims is to support and encourage people and communities to get actively involved in their local area. And we'd see community transport schemes as a great way for this to happen. As they're locally focused and run by volunteers who really know their community, they can address previously unmet needs. And whether this is through a large project, such as the Risborough community bus that runs 6 days a week, regular timetable services, or something much smaller, like a voluntary car scheme in a tiny village, they can all make a great contribution.
Who are you working with to deliver this?
We're working closely with our partners at Community Impact Bucks and the Buckinghamshire Community Foundation, as well as with the NHS Trust and our local area forums, so we can support new and existing community transport projects. And we hope that many more people are going to get involved across the county.
Andy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, thank you for calling the Community Transport Helpline. How can I help you?
Hello, I'm looking to organise some transport to get my mother to a hospital appointment next week at Stoke Mandeville.
Okay, certainly no problem at all. Where does your mother live, please?
She lives in Prestwood. Yeah, and she needs to go to Stoke Mandeville Hospital.
No problem. There is a couple of services that do cover the area where your mother lives. The first one would be the Prestwood Area Community Transport, which is a volunteer-led transport scheme. Would you like the telephone number for the booking coordinator? No problem. If you could give Colin a call on 07968 641 427, he'll be able to help you and talk you through the service. The other company that might be worth a call is the Chiltern Dialer Ride service. This covers Presswood and would help your mother with medical trips, as well as trips to the shops, garden centres, things like that, if she wants to get out a bit more. And the number for them is 01494 766 123.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
No problem at all. And if it's okay with you, can I give you a call back in a couple of days just to check that everything's been arranged for you?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Why did you set up the Edam Community Transport Scheme?
It became evident from the Edam Parish Plan that there was a need. The villages in the 3 villages of Aylesbury, Dagenham and Northall, there was a need to try to make an improvement to the bus services. A group of us got together and we set up what was the Buses and Transportation Group to try to do something on the bus front. We spent about 3 years on that and realised that we couldn't really make a difference there. But then along came community transport. We heard about this, we looked into it and we realised it was something that actually maybe we could achieve. As a result of it, we held a meeting, did lots of advertising. We got about 30 people came along, and from that we got 17 villagers in all the villages to sign up and be a volunteer driver for us. And also we managed to get Peter, who volunteered to be their coordinator, which was absolutely amazing because I thought that role would be much harder to fill.
And my role really is to just literally take calls from the general public and find them a driver. Varies, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. We've done 700 journeys so far. So in 2 years that's not bad because it started very slowly. It is door to door, where you do go from door to door, we do wait, and we can wait some time sometimes. The length of the journeys vary from going to the local hairdressers to the Churchill in Oxford, Mount Vernon we go to a lot, which is 50-mile round trip. But we've got some drivers who absolutely love a long journey, which is handy. Others just like short ones, and it's up to me to fit them in and get them organised, in other words. The customers love it, and it is very reassuring for them to know that they have got transport when they've got medical appointments. Particularly the medical appointments, that's about 60% of what we do. And it's very rewarding for myself and for the drivers actually. They like doing it. Remember, they're not being paid. There is a small charge, but that is just to cover the petrol and a bit of wear and tear on the cars.
Hello Sheila.
Hello.
And Mary.
Hello.
You've just had a lift with Kathy to your bingo session at the village hall here.
Yeah.
How would it be if you didn't have that transport option?
Well, I would never get out at all because everybody's at work, and it makes you independent that you can call on somebody to, you know, come and take you. They take me to the doctors, they take me for me medicine, they take me for me pension. Anything I want, I just give them a ring and they come and get me and take me.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Sheila? How important is the transport scheme to you?
Well, it is important. I like coming to the bingo. I've always come. Unfortunately, I lost my husband, so that meant I'd only got family to bring me, and you know, then they can't always manage it, and so it gives you the independence that you can just ring and ask, and you're not worrying, are you?
No.
You're not worrying your family.
So talking of bingo, were you successful today?
I was.
Mary was.
I won £21.
Oh, well, congratulations. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
That made my night.
Rowena, the Chesham Voluntary Ambulance Car Service has an interesting history. Can you tell me a bit about it?
Well, we were started by Marjorie Bell, who was the wife of a councillor in Chesham, and she had a car, which very few people in the 50s did have a car. So as her friends' parents got older, they asked Marjorie to take them to the hospital appointments. which she did, but it snowballed, and so many people were asking her that she had to get her friends involved with cars, and it just started very casually like that. And since then, of course, they've got the surgeries to do some of it for us and get us a few new drivers, and also local clubs and advertising in the surgeries.
Okay, thank you. Philip, as a driver, obviously there are benefits to you. What would you see those as being?
The benefits to me is that I get to meet some very interesting people, and I hope that by being a driver I can continue a scheme which I want to be around when I need it.
And who are your passengers and where do you go with them?
We have a wide variety of passengers, but they're all referred to us by doctor surgeries in Chesham. As far as where do we go, the majority of the appointments are either to doctor's surgeries or to Amersham or High Wycombe or Stoke Mandeville Hospital, but we do quite a few runs to Oxford and the occasional one to hospitals in London.
Ray, obviously a scheme like this needs to be financed. How does it work for the Chesham scheme?
Well, over the years it has changed a little. The original aim was to try and cover about half of the costs from the patients by way of a tariff. Progressively over the years, because it has got more difficult to raise funds from other charities and local authorities, we've had to increase the tariff rate to the extent that we're now covering about 80% of our costs from the patients, and that means that we're now more financially stable than we might have been in previous years.
Okay, thank you. Tony, what is Aylesbury Dial a Ride and how do people book onto it?
Well, it's basically a scheme for members. You've got to be a member to be on it, and they would pay £8 a year to be a member, and then they would book the transportation for wherever they wanted to go from A to B, and they would phone up in the region of 3 days prior to wherever they want to go, and then we would do our best to fit them all in and transport them to wherever they want, mainly hospitals, doctors, dentists. Shopping's quite a popular one, day centres, and anywhere they want to go, basically.
And it's a door-to-door service?
It's, yes, it's actually a door-to-door service. It literally is, but yes, it is. We'll leave it as a door-to-door service, yes.
Thank you. And as a driver, what got you into driving for Aylesbury Dial a Ride?
Well, I got made redundant about 12 years ago, and I took a pension, but I needed a part-time job, and this job it suited me down to the ground. It's something I wanted to do, put something back into the community, and just help people, basically help people. Because a lot of the people we pick up, people don't realise that they don't get out for days, sometimes weeks, and we're an opening into their house to get them into the social scene, as it were. So it's very rewarding, very.
Okay, thanks very much, Tony. Hi, Audrey.
Yes.
You use the Aylesbury Dial a Ride service.
I do.
How often do you use it?
About every 6 weeks when I've run out of food, fruit and stuff.
So you
then
go
I go in. Yes, I go shopping then, yeah. In Aylesbury, yes.
And how easy is it to book on?
Oh, very easy. I just usually book a week in advance because they do get booked up very quickly.
Okay.
And quite often there's always somebody with me.
Okay.
Yes.
And they pick you up at the door? And
yes, they do. Right on time. Yes. And they bring your bag in for you when it's a heavy bag, with your groceries, which is very handy, yes.
So to you, the Aylesbury Dial a Ride is a really important service?
Oh, it is very important to us, yeah. Okay. I'm sure it is to everybody that uses it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
How long has the bus been running?
We started in the beginning of July 3 years ago. so over 3 years now.
Okay. And how many journeys do you think the bus makes in a week?
We don't actually count the journeys per week, but I actually did a calculation. I think it's about 100 per week. And the important thing is we run a scheduled service. It's not a dial-a-ride. It's in a sense a hail-a-ride service. We run a scheduled routes, 6 routes in and around Risborough and the outlying villages such as Speen, Bledlow, Ascot and Kimballs. And the unique part of the service is that we don't use bus stops. People hail the bus, stop the bus, they get on and then they get off when they want to get off. So for many, many people it's almost a door-to-door service. I think it's quite special in that respect.
And what do you see the future of the bus being?
Well, at the moment about 94% of our passengers are over 60 with their concession cards. Now that's fine, and we love taking elderly people around because in many instances the only way they can get into town to go to shops, to go to the library, to go to the doctors and so on. And that's great, and that really is our sort of key activity. But we're very keen also to try and encourage younger people to come on bus because it's a bus for everybody. It's very cheap. I mean, the typical run costs only £1.50 and only 50p for children under 16. So we're trying to develop the bus to become less of a, if you like, old folks bus and more of a community bus for everybody.
So, what's the purpose of your journey on the bus today?
Well, I've been to visit my husband in the care home here, and I'm just going home now. I'm doing my shopping on the way home, so 2 things for one journey.
So do you use the bus often though?
I do, yes.
If the bus wasn't available, what would you do for transport?
I'd have to walk.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's obviously a very important service to you.
It is, yes. Yeah.
So how often do you use the bus?
Oh, I use it nearly every day. Oh, yeah. And we all speak very well of it, and the drivers. They're very helpful. You know, they can help you get on with your shopping, help you get off with it. And yeah, they're all very good. Make lots of friends. I know lots more people now than what I did know. So, yes, it works out very well. We'll miss it if it wasn't here. I don't know what we've done without it before, to be honest.
What's the purpose of your journey on the bus today?
I've been to visit my 93-year-old mother. Without the bus I wouldn't be able to get there to see her.
Okay. So how often do you make that journey or other journeys on the bus?
Twice a week.
So if it wasn't available, you'd really struggle?
I would struggle, yes. It would take me an hour probably to walk from Princess Risborough Station to where my mother lives. And I'm in my 70s, so, you know, it would take quite a while.
And when you get on the bus, obviously you meet friends and neighbours?
Yes, it's quite a chatty sort of session on the bus. Everyone gets to know everyone else, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon.
Martin, how did you get involved in driving for the Risborough bus?
I've been involved with the Risborough bus since its conception, when we had the RACA, which is the Community Action Group for Risborough, and then we set up its own independent Risborough area bus. So I've been in it right from the beginning, and when they wanted drivers on the bus, I've been driving since the second week we had the bus.
And what sort of benefit do you get from being a volunteer driver, do you think?
Helping the people in the community, and also the response back that you get from them. It's just a delight to work with the people of Risborough.
Thank you for watching our film. If you would like more information about community transport, or any information on ways in which we can help your community, please call 0845 389 0389 or check out our website at www.communityimpactbucks.org.uk.
you.